2 on the relationship with our children. I have mentioned that the way you feel about yourself will be an influence on how you look upon your children. That if you are needy, you will demand of your children to meet your neediness. You will object if ever they seem to be so-called disobedient to yourself, or that they act differently than the way you want them to act, and you will land on them because your own survival and your own need to feel of worth must be supported by them. And it's only when you lose that kind of need that you will change towards your children. And until then, your children will be facing a worldly parent who does not understand that they feel the same way you do, that they have as many issues of wanting to feel wanted, of wanting to feel lovable, of wanting to feel loved, as we've got. It's there. And how does it disappear? I've mentioned that we have to change. And how does it change? Well, one way I guess you can say enough guilt begin to pile up, that you begin to recognize that you don't like the way you're reacting with your children, that you see your suppression of their identity, of their true self. And you don't even necessarily see it as the fact that they're godly, but you just know that there's something in you that feels badly when you react in a critical, judgmental way with them. Because at least it is present within you, and when you feel poorly about the way you're behaving, you're watching the reaction of yourself to the God within you who is nudging you and who enables you to feel badly when you act in a negative way. God sits in you, inside of you, providing you with the awareness of it when you're ready to be aware. And it's only crises that bring you to the point that it's worse that your kids are in trouble than it is that you're causing the trouble. And so you can become aware of guilty feelings about yourself. Of what are you doing? Are you bringing up a child to know their divine nature? Are you imitating the divine nature of being loving, which means accepting of all the difficulties that they have for the same reason that you have your difficulties? They don't know who they are, they're insecure, and they're pressing to feel loved, and they will do anything and everything to overcome that feeling of aloneness within inside themselves. And they'll pick up any kind of behavior, positive or negative, in order to get the feeling that there's somebody there. Even negative things, negative occurrences, if it brings attention to them and that they're involved in that, it's better than not feeling any involvement at all. So the children will do this kind of thing just like we do. We do the same thing. That even if we act negatively, we have attention to the fact that we are the center of the stage in some way, better than not being the center of the stage and having nothing. And so we need to ask ourselves, are we aware of the fact that we're hurting and that our children are hurting? Are we listeners to our children? If you're into your godly nature, if you're into your loving nature, you will be a receiver, you will be open to, you will be an absorber of your children's wish for you to be attentive to their needs. You will be a listener. You will be a person who goes to God and says, let me handle this moment with my child as you would handle. Let me be with my child at this point as you would be. Why you're doing that is to be able to knock off the human mind, which wants you to be with the child as one who is simply convenient to you and meets your needs. It's all you would ever be without the presence of the God being. And so when you're asking God to be able to help you when a rumpus occurs, or when your child comes up to you and says, Mom or Dad, that you turn around, yes, you're open to them. By the way, I could mention it as an interesting aside, but relevant, that I have visions of God, that God has come to me in the male and female forms, that I can recognize when he was in this world. And in the latest vision of Mary, who has been shown to me to be God also, just like Jesus is, that she's Mother God, a very important correction that God's making with me. In the most recent vision that I had of Mary, there was Mary in front of me, and you know what position she showed me? This position. Notice the openness. Come to me. Come to me. And that is what is helpful to be able to be with your child. God needs to be able to get you to the relationship with God that you want God to help this individual, this godly being that your child is, to recover for themselves what you are for yourselves. What does it mean, for instance, in terms of schooling? What does it mean in terms of the activities that are chosen? Well, this is the next topic that I want to get into with you.